I try to cut the boards just a touch, a fraction long, and snap them in. That way if they shrink, they're still pretty tight. It's a little difficult to get them in by yourself sometimes. You also have to be careful to cover the top of the board before that, because if it shrinks sideways a little bit, you don't want a gap. The insulation I'm putting in is just for sound purposes. I'm not doing the back side of that whole wall because I'll do that when I do the bathroom. The section I did do is part of the wall into the front bathroom. You can see they snap in pretty tight. You can do that with longer boards, but it's hard to do with short boards. That board didn't quite make it to the ceiling. That does it for that wall. The extension jamb for the window, I made it up and I can set it in place and shim it where it needs to be and screw it. I'm using finish screws so they have small heads. Add a little spray foam around the outside just for cutting out any drafts. Okay, in case you haven't watched any of my previous videos, what I'm doing is putting up what I call insiding. And what it is it's Adirondack siding put inside. And it's a 1/2 inch thick. It's got the live edge on it. It makes it a little bit more delicate than normal Adirondack siding, which is 1 inch thick, and it makes for a neat wall inside the house. Now the first course obviously has to be square at the bottom because it's going against the floor. So what I've done is I've taken a piece and I've ripped off a small strip off one side that squares up the edge, and it gives this piece to put on the very bottom so that it gets the overlap of the first board, so the first board isn't just flat to the wall. So that's what I'm doing right here. This is the final wall in this bedroom. And with this ICF walls, you've got a place to screw into. There's plastic stud behind this. Every place you see this. So you've got a place to screw into every 6 inches. I won't, of course, screw it every 6 inches, but I have a place to do it if I want it. So yeah, let's put this first board down. So what I'm going to do is put this in here. And I don't really have to screw that in. The board will hold it. And now I got the first board upside down. We're just a touch long. So I'll just have to recut it just a touch long. I'll come back. Now the next board will overlap that board. But I'm going to do the starter for over there first. Now, because of the nature of the siding, this nature of the beast, so to speak, we're not matching corners. So, as you can see, they don't match. And I'm not saying it wouldn't be possible to do it, but it'd be pretty tough. And it doesn't matter. That's the look. So, I have a bunch of scrap here that was left over for some of the other walls. I'm going to go ahead and run this side up. Just get rid of this scrap, get it out of here, be done with it. I'll need some of it for in between the window and the door and the window and the wall, but I could take a whole bunch of them and stack this up and save. I'm getting low on siding that I milled, so I want to make sure that I use up everything that I can. And on these, the top doesn't have to be straight. It is on a lot of them, but it doesn't have to be, as long as the board looks reasonably square to the wall, to the trim on the door and the corner. And that leads to another thing. When I set these up, I'm not using any trim. So I'm just extending the jamb out and I'm going into it with no trim. So it looks like that, which to me is a nice clean look. I did the corners. I kind of weaved them like every other one, the outside corners. So there's basically no trim in here, just extension jambs, and I like that. The next board will have the switch box in it, and I like to keep the box all in one board rather than having it break somewhere in the middle. Like if it broke right here, it becomes very difficult to put a cover over that and make it look good. So like right there, you can see it's all in one board, and that's what I try to do every time. And because everything is random, I can do that. That's a little too tight. I'll be back. Oh! Not what I wanted. When you get a piece like this that has no square edge on it, top, you obviously can't just stick it on a chop saw and make a cut, because you won't be square. So what I do is I take and look at something that say, okay, this looks kind of square. I cut it off, and then I take a measurement. I take a measurement to the other side so that these two cuts are a parallelogram, and then I put it in there until the cuts look good. And that, because there's nothing to square to, so you gotta make a cut, measure down the same measurement, draw a line and cut to that line. And then it just fits in there how it fits in. Because it's not going to be square, you got to do something. And there you have it. It fits reasonably decent. Still too tight. that cut for some reason wasn't square. So I scribed it in with a pencil. Now I'll recut it. Before we get carried away, let me get a gun over here and screw. Put the tape somewhere else. Okay, so you gotta go way up according to this, or I gotta go down. So can you go down or not?
You want me to go down more? Looks how.
Okay, so my cut is good. What does yours look like?
Well, it's not in, so I can't. I don't know what happened here, but that right there is about what I want to see. You need to go way up. Kind of.
Let's get it up to the ceiling. Okay, so the walls are done in here now, and that's what insiding looks like. Got a little cleanup to do, some boards here, but this gives you an idea what the whole room looks like. So I'm going to end this video here. It's a short one, but I wanted to finish up this room and let you guys see it. Thanks for watching.